What's up? So in today's video, I'm actually going to do something a little different. We're going to do a practice review. So about, I would say now it'd be 3 years ago, in 2021, I got set up with Mason Parris. You'll see him here. He just made the Olympic team this year, but at the time he was just a wrestler for the University of Michigan and a junior world champ at the time. But Mason is from a part of Indiana that's super close to Cincinnati, Ohio, which also happens to be close to Louisville, which is my hometown. And Nick Spatola, he just reached out and he was like, hey man, Mason's in town, he needs a big guy to drill with, would you be down? I was like, oh, of course, like this is a great opportunity. I was, believe, a two-time NAIA National champ at the time. Yeah, I was a two-time NAIA National champ at the time, and I was like, heck yeah, this is a really good opportunity. I don't get that many guys in the NAIA that are heavyweights, especially, to practice with, that are this high level. So I actually skipped out on about a week of practice and during winter break and went to Spatola's club instead of staying at LWC. Thankfully my coaches let me do that, and I got to train with Mason a crap ton. This is just one of the videos. I believe there's a couple videos on Spatola's YouTube channel. This is actually comes from that stream. That's why like the quality's not the best, but it's still pretty awesome that I have this. You know, it's pretty cool to see. We go through a ton of different things, lots of drilling, lots of top and bottom sparring, and then lots of neutral wrestling at the end. I cut it up, but we actually ended up wrestling live for like an hour, but I mostly cut it up into most of the neutral stuff. So if you guys don't know, in wrestling there's top, bottom, neutral. But anyways, I won't talk too much. This was awesome. It was a great experience. Mason is so amazing. It was actually super fun rewatching this. It kind of got me pumped up to get a bit more into like pure wrestling again. I don't wrestle as much anymore just because I've had some injuries. So, but regardless, this was super fun to watch. I'm sure you guys can learn something from it. One of the biggest things that I took away from rewatching this was being stingy. Both me and Mason were being very stingy, meaning when either one of us would get into takedowns, neither one of us just gave up a takedown. And this is something that a lot of people do, is they go against someone that's better than them, or someone puts them in a bad position and they just stop moving. And the idea is that you actually continue to scramble, you continue to scrimmage, and you don't just give up takedowns. Number one, it's being a bad partner in practice. It's creating bad habits. Number two, you're never going to learn how to push through hard things. Anyways, I'm not going to talk about this anymore. Congrats to Mason on becoming an Olympian this year. That was kind of the idea for this video. And now I'm a professional jiu-jitsu athlete, so it's pretty cool to see we're both in pretty different things. His thing is way more important than mine, but regardless, I'm grateful I had this experience. I might make another video on one of the different practices. For now, let's get to it. Sweet. So we're gonna get into a breakdown of the practice. It's a pretty fun practice. Right now, you can see we're just drilling. It's really cool because I believe this is like basically the only wrestling practice that I've ever seen recorded for me. I mean, this one, and I think there's one or two other videos on Spatola's actual YouTube channel, which you can just go to Spatola. Right now, we're just kind of getting warm. We already did a little bit of a warm-up, and me and Mason are showing just hand fighting to a shot here to the kids at Spatola's wrestling club. So we're both just going to move our hands, get heavy, hand fight to a shot, and finish. I'm going to go ahead and get up and do one. I move a little fast here because I'm working on doubles. So you can see I'm hitting angles and boom, going into that shot, and I'm passing by. Spatola, you can see the guy in the gray right there, Mr. Nick. He's an awesome guy. He was teaching some stuff to the kids. And now me and Mason are just kind of brainstorming on some underhook escapes. This is really what a lot of it is, especially the better you get. It's a lot of, hey man, how do you get out of this thing? Or how do you get into this thing? And that's literally what you can see us discussing. Spatola's there kind of shooting some ideas around for us too. Now we're back into these drills, but now we're doing the shot, counter shot drill, where we just kind of shoot and then or your partner shoots rather, and then your job is to just counter the shot. It's pretty much zero resistance. I mean, but it's not completely zero. Now we're moving into some bottom shadow wrestling here, where we're just kind of doing our sit-outs and escapes. Spatola is just kind of showing why you do that in a match. We get through that, and now we're experimenting on some like leg Turk stuff, some bow and arrow stuff. It's funny because this is actually where I learned this, and then I ended up hitting it a crap ton in college this same year and the year after. Mason's kind of just running me through a couple of details. Funny enough, I just taught this at Pedigo, and it's I'd always wondered, man, where did I learn this from? And then rewatching this video, I was like, oh, this is where I did. Now we're doing some top and bottom live goes. If you guys don't know, if you do Jiu-Jitsu, the whole point is, just as you see, my goal is to stand up and get away. It is not as easy as it sounds, especially when you have a guy like Mason on you. Both of us are pretty good on top and both pretty good on bottom, so this was actually really fun. I love the leg ride, which has really helped me out in Jiu-Jitsu. It kind of looks like I'm getting a seatbelt here. Doesn't work very well. He gets up, he clears his hips. I go for a little Granby roll here. I capture the leg, and I go and double it off. Again, I throw in a boot. Mason's so good here. We're both really good at reversing from top, rather from bottom. And so we kind of just reverse each other a lot. Once again, guys, see, a lot of it is we go live and then we brainstorm. We go live and then we brainstorm. We're just brainstorming, oh, how do we get out of this crab ride if they have sticky hooks? Okay, in wrestling, that'd be called a crab ride. Now we're getting into our neutral live goes here. We're just hand fighting. We're kind of filling each other out a little bit. Man, my stance was a lot different then than it is now. But you can notice I usually don't reach with both hands unless I've got some type of connection with my head. But obviously, it's not a full-on rule. It's just kind of something that I try to do here. I loved hanging on this over tie. You probably don't look like you're doing much, but it's actually pretty heavy. It's really effective. Man, Mason's so fast at these reshots. I literally have not met many people who can reshoot like this. He does that takedown. We get into a little far leg scramble. I come up. His knee was in a little bit of a weird spot, so we just kind of stalemated it. We're continuing to wrestle, hand fight. I hit this ankle pick, and on 90% of people, that ankle pick works. He gets up into a body lock, and then I shoot a lat drop. Boom. But then he recovers, no takedown at all, which is pretty crazy. That was a pretty crazy sequence for there to be no score. But, I mean, it just goes to show, like I talked about in the intro, we are being stingy here. Okay, that's why I really love wrestling with Mason. It gave me the opportunity to do things like this, which was work on hardcore defense and hardcore offense. Like, it's not good enough to just defend. You have to, like, be able to defend A, B, C through Z. And it's not good enough to be offensive. You have to be able to keep moving through all the positions. Like, look, once again, I stalemated this out. Even for Mason, who's a much better wrestler than me, once you go against other high-level wrestlers, regardless of the level, it's going to be pretty hard, especially in practice, to just score on them. Shooting up high, I'm always trying to dig for those underhooks. Not always, but like preferably I can get an underhook so I can do a reshot. Hand fighting here, I go low. I knew he was going to try to reshoot, so I kept my right hand down that time. Hand fighting hard. Ooh, trying to get him to react. Boom. But again, I reach. I do a back step because he does a reshot. And then we get into this crotch lock position where I pretty much am just going to try to stalemate it out. I love the little kids just hyping us up in the back. They're super funny. We stalemate. Now we're back up again. Just hand fighting. Boom. He shoots. He has such a good, nasty high crotch that I make sure to keep my hips super far back. If you guys know Mason, he's known for this really nice dump. So I just try to avoid that. I shoot a single leg, but he keeps my hand beneath the knee. You notice I'm trying to build my right hand above the knee. It's not working. He smacks my head to the outside and kind of forces me to build up to that hip, and I kind of just let go because I do not want to be there with him. I shoot a far side ankle pick, and then I go post double in the reshot. Notice how I get up off of my knees when I get stuck in front headlock. You want to put yourself in a position where you're very mobile. Look, even if he goes for a leg there, it doesn't really matter because I'm in a good position. My hips are free. I can pretty much fight out of this and pretty much still make the position. But if I stayed on my knees, Mason would have finished for sure. That was a really awesome little slide by from Mason for my ankle pick. I got a little extended. So we're here, we're hand fighting. Again, it might not look like much is happening, but we're just kind of measuring distance. One little thing messes up, and then one of us is going to get taken down for sure. He has a nasty underhook, but I'm pretty good at over-under position too. So we're both kind of just being a little bit careful. Boom, I'm snapping for that ankle and trying to get this reshot. I've done that ankle pick to a post, like that fake ankle pick to a far side post a couple times while we wrestled, so I was kind of just feeling that. But it's easier said than done to finish it. He gets into a 6 sweep single. He does a little cut back, but I go belly wizard into the splits. Sorry for it being pretty far back here. It just is what it is. But, if you pinch your eyes, you'll see. But the splits are really good for the single leg, especially when they go cut back. My goal, you see, I'm trying to punch his head back inside so that I can get the wizard. He's doing a really good job of being disciplined. But boom, that head goes back inside, and I get that shin wizard. That's going to make it pretty much impossible for him to start the finish here. I got the wizard. Like I said, I'm really strong from this position, so I was really confident that I can pretty much pull him up to my hip and defend the takedown. Even with this shelf here, Um, I knew I could just pretty much just get into a good scramble, which I did, far leg, and then we stopped here just so no one got hurt. Back in, he shoots. I try to do a throw by into the body lock again. I'm not really a body lock guy, so when I get to these positions, I kind of just was just playing around with it. I was like, oh, okay, this isn't gonna work. Time ran out. We're back up, grabbing the wrist, hand fighting. He shoots. He gets into the single leg. Once again, being stingy, trying to get that wizard. I'm always trying to face my partner. It's going to make it difficult for him to take me down. I got that leg onto the inside to make sure that my leg stays heavy. If that leg's on the outside, he's 100% going to finish, right? So I'm trying to get that boot on the inside. Still made it out. We continue wrestling. I try to shoot distance. He goes and shoots. I cut the corner and get that crotch lock and start to get into this David Taylor cradle. That's what I call it, because the first time I saw this little position was when David Taylor cradled Jordan Burroughs at the U.S. Open, I believe, or the World Team Trials back in like 2012 or 2013, something like that. He cuts the he comes out the back door. Once again, I'm looking for my ankle, but it's pretty hard right now, so I'm getting back into those splits. Man, I'm always wondering, why do my knees hurt? And now looking back at this, it actually makes a lot of sense why my knees hurt a lot. Back up. Again, I'm going to fight to the death. Notice, guys, I keep saying be stingy in all these positions. Even though he has a body lock, it does not mean I'm dead. Right? If I can get my hand down to the mat and I pull up that wizard, he's going to have to let go of that body lock. There's no way he's going to be able to hold it. But, yeah, that's pretty much the practice. Again, you can watch other videos. But, yeah, let's get on with it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the breakdown. The video, I know, is a little bit longer than normal, probably like 15-16 minutes, but I mean, that's the point of it. It's super fun, it's super different, and it's something new. And if you guys want to see me, you know, roll around with a world medalist and a junior world champ and Olympian and NCAA Division I champ and whatever else Mason is, this was a great chance. And hopefully you guys took something from this. You took notes, maybe rewatch it again. And if you're interested to learn more from me, I just came out with a duck under instructional called Duck Under is the slickest way to take the back fast. You can check that out. I'm sure there will be a pop-up either up here or up here. Or you can check out any of my other instructions at brandonreedtherx.com. Hopefully you enjoyed it. See you guys soon.